South Carolina.
Oh, that's right. So within the last
Damn.
10 years.
10 years.
It was in the last 10, 53 below. Wow.
Yeah.
And so, what does that feel like?
Well, after 20, everything's cold.
It's the same. It just
Yeah.
so do people go out when it's
Oh,
40
yeah.
below?
Well, yeah, you still got to go to work. Sometimes
Yeah,
you have to
once
plug
it's
your
cold.
car in.
Otherwise, your battery freezes.
Well, the oil pan freezes.
And then, so how cold
Oh,
does it have to
shit.
get before you turn the heat on in the house?
Me and my husband fight over that. It's like, no, it's not cold enough yet.
The summer is quite short here. Right?
No, I don't think so.
It is comparatively. We've been south
Yeah,
in March.
God don't want me to do
Flowers are
this.
blooming.
So when does winter end?
June.
Winter ends in June.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We've had snow on July 4th.
my birthday's in July and had snow on my birthday.
Like it actually snowed, or there was still just snow on the ground?
No, it was snowing.
It was snowing on July 4th. Wow.
Yeah.
God does not want me to make this damn purchase. He don't want me to get PlayStation Plus. I mean, the amount of obstacles and hurdles, I couldn't even tell y'all, man. Like last week, my damn bank card, I got some money. These fools gonna lock my damn card because I was spending my fucking money. I had some money and I was enjoying my money. And these motherfuckers locked my damn card and I just forgot to unlock this shit. So now I can't make no fucking purchases. And ain't nobody fucking open at 5 o'clock in the morning on the goddamn Saturday or Friday or Sunday, whatever fucking day it is, to take my goddamn call. So they can unlock my fucking card. Then my other bank account, they fucking mobile banking department is temporarily unavailable. And I specifically leave money in that savings account. So I have to go through the hurdle and extra step of transferring it to my active checking account to spend it. So that hurdle that I use to save money is making me save money. It's fucking annoying. But I'm still determined to spend this damn money.
What's your favorite thing about International Falls as people that have spent your whole life here?
Well, we don't have snakes and icky things. Crocodiles, alligators, none of that crap.
The cold keeps the bad stuff out, right?
Not really.
I like littler town. Most people are nice. We can travel to the big cities, but you can leave it behind. We lived in the cities for a period of time, and I swear they still thought that we were without electricity and outposts.
Really?
I actually have relatives that thought we didn't have supermarkets.
So is there a Walmart in town?
No, there's one right across the river.
Oh, in Canada.
Yeah.
How often do you guys cross the border into Canada?
I don't go very often.
I don't go very often either. Everything's too expensive over there.
Is the weather, in your opinion, the worst thing about life here, or what's your least favorite thing about it?
If you need some services, it's a distance, like medical services,
Mm.
3 hours to Duluth.
Obviously, the paper mill is still a big employer in town, but
Yeah.
I've heard that the city used to be much bigger back in
Yes,
the day.
Yes, it was.
We lost a lot of.
Yeah, when I went to school, it
Retail.
was like 10,000 people lived here.
And you could really feel it, just like, wow, it felt like a really bustling city.
Yeah, I liked it when it was busier, more retail stores and.
We got 3 new businesses right now.
What is the worst weather you remember that you've ever experienced here?
Well, the Easter snowstorm, 101 inches of snow. 97, wasn't it? It was a big storm.
Okay. As I walk back to the car, one thing I love about International Falls is how the people here really
I fuck with all of
that
this shit.
small town.
I ain't gonna
Minnesota
lie.
charm. Everyone says hello to you. We're back at
I like
Brother
this.
Bob's and the car, however. So let's head to the
Come
neighboring town of
on.
Rainier on Rainy Lake.
Can
That's
y'all
a
stop
Charger,
making me
Honda, or
spend
Tesla.
money
We drove-
on?
You said you drove about 20 minutes from
Stop
International
making it
Falls.
difficult.
Yeah, little town called Billboard.
What was it like growing up in this area?
To be honest, I hated it when I was a kid and when I was a teenager because there's not much to do out here. But now
It
I
ain't.
grew up and I got kicked.
It don't look like it's shit to do out there in what the fuck Minnesota. But Skull Vikings though. But it don't look like it's shit to fucking do out there in what the fuck Minnesota.
There's this nostalgic feeling. So I come and visit here once in a while.
In your life, what was the coldest temperature you ever experienced?
I know when I was a kid it would hit like negative 30 plus wind chill. But then one time, 6 years ago, I visited. It was negative 51 at the actual temp and then plus wind chill.
So what does that feel like?
It feels cold.
No shit, dummy.
No, but like when I was a kid growing up, negative 30, I'd be outside with just a pair of jeans and a hoodie waiting for the bus. When you're a kid there, you don't really pay attention to that kind of stuff.
It was built a little different, right?
Yeah, so now it's not like that. Now this is cold for me. It used to work right there.
At the mill. Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's the biggest employer.
We doing doing
The
this.
whole county, yeah. And what was that like?
This don't work. We're on the bed. Oh, it worked. Oh, we live, baby.
Flat break selections and stuff.
PlayStation Plus, we live, baby. Expect some college football streaming videos. Me just streaming, playing Dynasty mode and shit like that.
So if that's the plan, you think it'd be like a abandoned town?
Yeah, it probably would. A lot of kids now, once they graduate, they go off to universities, different cities. The majority don't come back. Slowly dying town, unfortunately.
Do you think the cold has anything to do with that, or just rural America?
It's a rural America, no jobs. I hope it turns around. I really do.
What are some tips or like big adjustments people don't usually think of if they're not used to cold, this cold?
Have a box of matches in your car just in case you break down and need to warm up or something.
Or in case you run out of charge and you're stuck in international and you can't get the charger to work.
Yeah, we need to talk about the international ball with the mayor about getting the situation fixed and a little easier for EV owners.
No, I tried to plug in, it didn't work. Hopefully better luck for you.
Yeah.
And if all else fails, there's a couple of chargers across the border.
They're not gonna let me in there, I tell you that.
A lot of you guys comment if I ever run into charging difficulties in very remote parts of the country. Today may be the first time I do. I am at 22% charge. There's an app called PlugShare, which tells you slow chargers all around the nation, all around the world really. It said there was one in International Falls. Unfortunately, it did not work. Hopefully, I'm going to be able to do all the driving I need to do today and be able to cross the border into Canada. It says the charger at the Canadian Tire after all the other destinations. We will arrive with 15% juice. We should be fine, but fingers crossed that charger works, because if it doesn't, I may very well be stuck in the coldest city in America. We are crossing.
You better hope you get out this damn city.
And we're going to follow the beautiful Rainy River and Fort Frances, which is actually a slightly larger city than International Falls. I mentioned earlier that International Falls is known as the gateway to Voyageurs National Park, as the national park starts about 10 miles west of the city. Voyageurs is apparently beautiful, as well as the Boundary Waters. My uncle is from Minnesota. He's gone to both parks quite often. He always raves about how there's really no place in the nation quite like that isolation, canoeing to different
That's crazy.
islands and just camping in the middle of wilderness.
Word. Shout out to everybody who viewing us.
Sister community.
A follow will be dope. We checking out this dude going through the coldest city in America, which is International Falls, Minnesota, Skull Vikings.
Of Rainier. Historic village on Rainy Lake. There is a tall lumberjack, I believe.
Oh shit.
The town does not look very large. It makes International Falls seem like the big city in this area. That is the post office. And then there's a nice building here, Cantilever, and then the railroad, which connects to International Falls as well. That there is the Rainy River on that side.
The Rainy River.
Into Rainy Lake, straight ahead. Rainier's population as of the 2020 census was only 569 residents. What is this? Just some old machinery of some kind. And then it becomes just the wilderness.
Yeah, it looked like the fucking wilderness.
On the beautiful
Let me see.
Rainy
Yo.
Lake. This lake actually creates quite a bit of precipitation, and it's often missed.
So I have not seen my roster in a long ass time.
But although it looks pleasant and beautiful,
I have not
I
seen
am
my
sure
roster
It's very cold. I'm
in a
gonna
long time.
feel the water temperature very quickly. Oh, that is freezing. Oh, I just felt the water in Lake Superior a couple days ago.
Yeah.
This is colder, and it makes sense. This
In
lake
Young
actually
Garden.
completely
Okay.
freezes over in the wintertime, and there's even an ice road to get to the other communities across the lake. Yeah, the cold here is no joke. I said earlier that the record low temperature here was negative 55 degrees Fahrenheit before the wind chill, and that is actually the coldest temperature recorded in any city of more than 5,000 residents other than Fairbanks, Alaska. Fairbanks has seen negative 66 degrees Fahrenheit. I can't even imagine what that feels like, but it's also a lot
Okay,
farther.
so we got a few recruiting
The next
classes now.
closest low temperature of the city was Williston, North Dakota, and that record low was only negative 50.
That's
Some more
crazy.
cold weather facts as we see these geese in the park. In In the 2013 to 2014 winter, there were actually 92 days where the temperature dropped below 0 degrees Fahrenheit, including 8 consecutive days under negative 30 Fahrenheit. Oh, they are flying away in unison. Wow. What majestic creatures over Rainy Lake. The geese obviously do not mind the cold of this water either, but the 1978 to 79 winter, the temperature famously never rose above freezing for 101 straight days.
That's
Obviously,
fucking
it doesn't get that
crazy.
cold all the time. The winter average temperature is
That's
usually
fucking
high in the
crazy.
mid-teens during the day, and then lows in the negative single digits Fahrenheit. We have a nice little basketball court here, but if you're someone who can't do below freezing temperatures, there's only an average of 16 days per winter where the high reaches above 32 degrees Fahrenheit. The hottest month of the year, July, actually only has an average high temperature of 64.9 degrees Fahrenheit. And as Mary mentioned earlier,
Ain't nobody
there
playing
have been
basketball
below
there.
freezing temperatures and snow in July.
Ain't nobody playing basketball there.
Little inlets
Nobody.
into the lake.
The fuck?
But a little fun fact about International Falls is that it's actually a hub for cold weather testing. Yes, a lot of companies go to Alaska, whether it be for cars, airplanes, clothing, batteries, etc. But many companies also use International Falls' winters as their benchmark. We have another beach on Rainy Lake.
Probably will not be like this for much longer. In a month, definitely 2 months from now,
That will be fully frozen over. Now, if all of the statistics that I've told you haven't scared you away, and you're someone who loves the cold and potentially you're thinking of even moving to International Falls, the median home value here is actually quite affordable. It's $141,500. You're at the entrance to Rainier.
Not bad.
There's a couple of placards. I want to read these. First residents. Long before the existence of Rainier, the area had been home to native peoples for thousands of years. This is an old Ojibwe camp. Many different Ojibwe people. Those are the storefronts on Duluth Street. I guess that's the main street that we drove through. One of the earliest businesses.
There you go.
Duluth
Now y'all can see
Street,
more.
looking at the Rainy River. Here's the Rainier passenger rail. In 1910,
Word.
the
Appreciate all the followers.
car line from International
Shout
Falls
out
to
D.
Rainier
Menace.
operated
Thank
two
you.
electric streetcars
Gang,
and
gang.
one gasoline-powered streetcar. Went out of business in 1913
man,
because
D.
of
Dot.
technical issues, but this is the streetcar line. Oh, and apparently today, Rainier is the busiest freight rail port of entry in the United States. In the early days, a number of hotels, rooming houses, and saloons made Rainier a pretty lively place.
Word.
And during Prohibition, since Rainier was
My
literally
dog,
right across the
Brandon.
border from Canada, it became a port of entry for a lot of illegal booze.
Page
And
growing, y'all.
The thing is remembering how cold it is today, even with modern equipment. Imagine living way back when.
What up, D. Dot?
We had down jackets. I don't think people quite realize just how cold so much of the northern United States, and especially Canada, was back in the day.
and it looks like the railroad is a running, yeah.
Like at the very beginning. Oh, this is a short one. The Minnesota, Dakota, and Western Railroad. As soon as I saw these red lights flashing, I'm like, oh, I'm going to be waiting here. It was a quick one. The bars have been risen again. We're going to drive back to International Falls. And as we do that, how about we get a little into the demographics of the people that still live here. Now, the median age in International Falls is 47.7 years old, which is quite a bit higher than Minnesota. The median age in Minnesota is 38.5 years. 25% of the population is over the age of 65. And it feels that a lot of people who grew up here in the
That's a
50s, 60s,
crazy
and
look.
70s, they still live here today. 50.8% of the population is male. 49.2% of the population is female. Race demographics, 91.3% white.
Wow, look at that. Rainy Lake auto sales. I do not think they have had an auto sale in quite some time.
Although Napa Auto Parts, Collision Repair Center, and another gas station, Family Dollar. Yeah, as soon as you get out of the downtown area, it just gets even more desolate here. But as I was saying, 91.3%
That's crazy.
of the population is white, 2% is Native American, 1.6% is Hispanic or Latino, 1.5% is Black, 3.2% of the population is two or more races, and 0.4% is Asian. The median household income in International Falls is $54,680. Nearly 37% lower than the U.S. median of $75,000.
These folks
Top
wild.
industries are obviously the paper mill, public admin and education, retail, and healthcare. This is our first home for sale, however, 1305 10th Street. It is a 3-bed, 2-bath.
That's not bad.
Square foot home with a detached garage, it appears. And it's going for $175,000. I mentioned earlier the median home value is just $141,500. But even with such a cheap cost of living, 15% of the population lives in poverty, including 28% of children. The owner of Border Bob's didn't want to be recorded, but she was telling me it's really hard to fully close school no matter how cold it gets. Parents can choose to not send their kids to school on very cold days, but as over 60% of children in Cushing County need food assistance, and Minnesota does have free school breakfast as well as free school lunch, sending the kids to school, regardless of how cold it is a necessity for many. Despite the above-average poverty and above-average unemployment, the unemployment rate is currently 4.9%. There actually isn't a whole lot of crime in International Falls. The overall crime rate is 19% below the national average, and the violent crime rate is 14% below the national average. That garage has some cute cows. And our next home for sale is right over here, 1819 11th Avenue. This barn-shaped home is a 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,700 square foot property. It looks quite nice, actually. It's not a lot of character and soul. Well, the RV is a little ominous behind it. It's going for $139,000. It is just straight wilderness as far as the eye can see over that way. There's one more home I want to show you.
Great wilderness.
Before I do, there is actually a small community college. It is on the southwest side of town where more of your big box stores like the Menards, as well as the Tractor Supply Company are going to be. I guess an American by Wyndham, Super One Foods, Tractor Supply. But welcome to Minnesota College, Rainy River. This is a public 2-year community college originally founded in 1967. Today is a Saturday, which is why the lot is completely empty. I don't think anyone actually lives on campus, and even if they did,
I bet they don't live on that mother. What the fuck is you gonna do on the campus?
go to school here. It is a 80-acre large campus. I think you pretty much
You ain't doing shit on that campus, bro.
school. But this is probably one of the smallest, but at the same time really cute, secluded campuses. It's very small, smaller than most high schools. But it's kind of just like away from civilization. The 2 main highways in town are US 71, the road that I am currently driving on. The other is the Rainy Lake Medical Center. This must be a hospital. Yeah, hospital as well as a clinic. Those are the sports fields for
Oh, I forgot I made these unis on this game. Word.
much larger.
Shout out to everybody who just joined the live stream. That follow is appreciated. Follow for a follow type shit.
Yes, their mascot is the
Shout out to everybody watching on Facebook type shit.
Canada in just a little bit, but before we do that, these are some beautiful homes right on the
Go
river.
ahead, get in the
And our
chat.
final
Get
home
with me.
for sale with a view of just how massive that paper manufacturing plant is this home right here. It is a 3-bed, 1-bath, 1,400 square foot home. Going for
Go ahead, get in the chat, brother. Get with me.
There's some very big homes in International Falls. But yeah, right here we have a little view of the Rainy River, a undeveloped portion of it. And yeah, this is what it looked like back in the day. Like, take away those
Yeah, that's
houses.
crazy.
The city really does not.
I like nature and shit. You might notice. This shit looks smooth.
Island in the middle of the river. The water tower for Fort Francis, Canada. Does not appear many people come down here.
Hey, for what?
But, you know, look at that.
What the fuck is they going down there for, bro?
To a more natural part of the Rainy River. You can hear the echo of the factory behind me, but you can also hear the beautiful birds chirping away. Holy, look at that smokestack. can't even imagine what that looks like in the wintertime. I'm also wondering where exactly the border is. Is this island technically in both the U.S. and Canada, or is it? Yeah, it looks like it's like right in the middle. So if someone were to swim to the
Them little
island
islands,
and
stuff
then
like that, be
cross,
cool.
would they get detained? How does that work? Obviously, that
They might
first is Canada, however, and given the name International Falls, it is obviously an international city. There are around 1,100 border crossings
Right.
each day, and many people in Fort Frances, Canada, work in International Falls. So let's pay the $9 fee to cross the International Bridge, and we'll tell you a little bit about International Falls' sister city. Before we cross that bridge into Canada, however, it is now 2:03 p.m. on a Saturday afternoon, and downtown International Falls.
It's 7 p.m. Friday. It's negative degrees.
Alarm going off since when I was walking here. Duty Free Americas, 2 for $40
Look at my
bottles
mouse.
of liquor. Apparently, a lot of Canadians do their shopping down here, as it is a lot cheaper. I think this first.
Shout out that viewer.
I paid the $9 toll
Appreciate you
fee
rocking with us.
crossing the
Here on that channel, it's Mental Rent TV with your host, Jesus Niggas.
That is a mouthful to say, but this bridge was originally built back in 1912 by the
Mental Rent TV with your host, Jesus Niggas. Make sure you click that follow button, man. We do YouTube reviews. I'm going to do some gaming and shit like that. But rock with me. Get in the chat. I'll fuck with you. You know what I mean? Fuck with me back.
paper mill, and it's been privately owned ever since. That's why there is a fee versus other border crossings, which are free. You are allowed to buy multi-trip bridge crossing cards for different locals of the cities who have to go back and forth quite often. Oh, wow, there's another plant literally as soon as I cross the border. Welcome to
Who that?
Canada, y'all. Customs was very
Okay, 4-2. I see you. Appreciate that link. Hit that follow, though, 4-2, and I got you.
kind. As soon as you cross the border, there is borderline cannabis. But welcome officially to Fort Frances, boundless amusement. Now, Fort Frances is slightly larger as well as a lot older than International Falls. It was originally settled back in 1731, and the population is currently around 7,500 residents. I'm not sure if you're allowed to turn right on Reading Canada. I think you are. I know laws do differ a little bit, but this is Main Street, which is actually the Trans-Canadian Highway. Now, as I just mentioned, this Main Street is the Trans-Canada Highway. If I were to continue in this direction east, about 2,850 miles, I would end up in St. John's, Newfoundland. Well, obviously, I'd have to take a ferry as well. And then if I were to go some 1,800 miles west, and including another ferry to Vancouver Island, I would end up in Victoria, the capital of British Columbia. Now, similar to International Falls, the city doesn't look like it's fallen into disrepair like many other former manufacturing cities all over the U.S. and Canada. Don't get me wrong, it probably has seen much busier and brighter days, but the town really looks like it's holding on quite strong, mainly because there's actually 2 paper manufacturing plants in the city. Oh, and just like in International Falls,
They get into that paper.
in this here park. Interestingly enough, my data still works, so my phone still thinks I'm in the United States. I don't have a international plan. And here we have Fort Frances Museum and Recreational Cultural Center. It is currently closed, but this building was originally built back in 1898. Yeah, you even have the numbers up top. Oh, this is what Scott Street, the main street I'm on right now, looked like back in 1924. And over on this wall, for centuries, the Rainy River was the link to travel from eastern Canada to the west. For First Nations people and later explorers, fur traders, and the earliest settlers, this was the Great Canadian Main Street. What a different world back then. Now, Fort Frances has always been a little larger, at least in terms of the population. The peak population was a little over 10,000 residents back in 1971, and while Canada does their demographics a little differently, the median age is 46 years, so quite similar to the International Falls side, but only 2.7% of the population here is a visible minority.
Damn.
Travis and Sam, you guys live in
Sent
Fort
that
Frances?
heat.
Yeah. Obviously, you are not bothered by the cold right now?
No.
How cold does it have to get before you put on the down jacket?
Probably like 20.
Yeah,
Wow.
Celsius. And what's the coldest you've ever experienced?
Minus 42, something like that. It does get cold in that here, though.
And were people out and about doing stuff that day, or is it?
Might have a hard time starting your car, but let's go ahead.
And how often would you say you guys cross the border to International Falls?
At least one.
Once a month? Week. Oh, what for? Cheaper on that side of the border?
Yeah.
Are there any adaptations you
Ah,
have to make
damn.
for the cold?
We got winter tires on the cars. Plugging up block heaters when we start a little bit easier. Diesel trucks, they run with slightly different fuel in the winter and it doesn't freeze up.
The main street on the Canadian side of the border seems a
Oh, he
bit
tried to
quieter and also a lot more lively. A Masonic
Yeah, that's
temple
crazy.
is on Main Street. Would you look at that? And then over here is the Fort Francis Post Office building.
They got an interesting little town going on over there on some real shit.
This was built back in 1929, and Fort Francis is the district seat of the Rainy River District. District's not Canada, and it's actually the only division of Ontario that uses Central. It's a very sparsely populated remote region of Canada. There's only about 3 people per square mile. And if you're wondering about the isolation and remoteness,
Come
the nearest city
on.
of over 10,000 residents on the
Tackle
Canadian side
him.
of the border
And
is
bring
Kenora,
that back. Yeah,
over
hold it.
130 miles away. There's a Nugget Motel, which is starting to deteriorate. Other buildings are definitely deteriorating. The benches seem to have been neglected. That wind is starting to blow and it's getting a little nippy. And this building on my left is completely boarded up. But here we have the
Oh, yeah.
District
I'm
Courthouse
nervous.
building, erected back in 1913. How funny that there's 2 county courthouse buildings, probably not even 2 miles away from each other. They're just in different countries. It's so fascinating to me how borders work, and especially border towns. Obviously, the U.S. and Canada have good relations now, but
Good
what if
him.
they didn't? Even though these 2 cities are so close together, it almost feels like they're a world apart. The Canadian side of the Rainy River appears to be a bit more developed, but it is still very industrial looking. There is the massive operation on the American side of the border, and then this little blue one is one of the operations on the Canadian side. But while you've seen a bunch of these 2 cold cities, I still haven't shown you all the reason for the second part of International Falls' name. This is the
Okay.
Rainy River yet again.
Where's the waterfall?
Side. There still are not really parks, but the trail is
He was
a little
right
better, I would
fucking
say.
there.
That
It
is
was
the
so
massive
fucking
operation known as the Packaging Corporation of America. And that right there is where Couchiching Falls used to be. Unfortunately, when the dam was constructed in 1905, it actually concealed the entire waterfall.
What?
Overlaid image on the screen of just how beautiful it used to be, and while it is sad that it is no longer here, I think this massive paper plant is kind of aesthetic in its own way. And if you follow the Rainy River in this direction, it is still the raw, untamed wilderness it's been for hundreds of years. But although International Falls is the coldest city in the contiguous United States, there are some much colder places, including the coldest major city in the Western Hemisphere, just about 430 kilometers that way. So it's at 10,000 likes if you want me to explore Winnipeg. Comment down below any other fascinating remote towns, and I will see you all in around a week with my next adventure. And if you're wondering if I was able to charge my car, I found this CHAdeMO charger, and I do have a CHAdeMO to Tesla adapter. So right outside of this Canadian Tire, I am charging my car from 16%.
From the chefs in Singapore, making
Oh, word.
thousands of
Shit.
in-flight meals.
We ain't watching that no
To
more.
keeping runways clear for takeoff. To handlers
What's this?
training dogs to detect explosives. There are thousands of people working behind the scenes to keep our flights safe and comfortable.
The work never stops because the planes never stop.
We went around the world to see how they train and prevent delays on roughly 100,000 flights every day. Our first stop is Singapore, where we learn how chefs prepare business, and first-class passengers.
Yeah, what's the difference?
This is Singapore Airlines' biggest catering facility, located within Changi Airport. It's run by the airline's catering partner SATS, and while SATS does make food for 45 other carriers, Singapore Airlines is by far its biggest customer.
SIA, to be frank, is a very demanding customer.
Anthony works with SATS to develop hundreds of new menus every year, and creating one dish can take 9 to 12 months.
There's different menus flying in different directions, and different cuisine types, Japanese, Chinese, Singaporean, obviously Western meals.
The airline runs menus from 77 different departure cities. So if you're leaving Singapore, you'll be offered chicken and rice or a hawker soup. If you're leaving New York City, you'll get a smoked trout salad.
Okay.
And of course, the food changes based on where you're sitting on the plane. In first class suites, passengers have the most options, from caviar and lobster thermidor to beef tenderloin. In premium economy, flyers have just a couple choices, like this nasi kerabu, because the airline cooks it in bigger batches. No matter the cabin, chefs try to include a protein, vegetable, starch, and a sauce in each dish. Before anyone can get to cooking, they need to suit up. They wash their hands thoroughly and step into this air
There
shower.
we go.
To remove air, dust, and anything which may provide opportunity inside the facility for contamination.
That's what's up. A air shower? A fucking air shower is crazy.
SAT's team of over 1,000 workers handles a lot of food.
Easily, one day we can have about 800 to 1,000 menus running.
Wow.
They usually start cooking meals 24 to 36 hours before a scheduled flight, and it's all broken down into stations.
It's like a restaurant. You have a salad section, you have a dessert section, you have a hot kitchen.
That's some plain looking ass chicken.
In the premium kitchen, they grill meat, like this filet mignon, for the first and business class.
Essentially what we're doing is we're cooking the meal about 30-40%.
If they cook the meat all the way through now, it would be really overcooked by the time it got onto the plane. So chefs depend on flight attendants who finish cooking it in the air.
They just apply residual heat of about 150-160 degrees in our aircraft ovens.
Over in the hot kitchen, cooks handle, well, all the hot food, for first economy
Oh, really?
and business class.
Vegetables, pasta, noodles, rice noodles, hot meals, soups and sauces.
This is some heavy-duty batch cooking.
That's a lot of
Chefs
shit.
boil noodles in giant vats. Tomato sauce gets its own tank and is pumped out into these cooling trays from the bottom. Chefs aren't cooking everything all the way.
Which is crazy weird. They have cooking all this shit.
60% finished.
Even vegetables.
It's a little bit like a pasta. We want it to be al dente. So you can see there has a little bit of firmness, a little bit of bite. So if we break that, we still get some snap. So as it cools, the meals will continue, or the food will continue to cook until it reaches the core temperature that we need to achieve for food safety.
Every tray along the way gets a tracking label. That way, if there's any issue with food sickness on a flight, the airline can trace it back to the exact batch.
We also want to maintain the integrity and the color of the meat cream. So we cook it in the hottest possible water, 100 degrees. We cook it for the shortest amount of time as possible.
Once the food comes off the heat, it immediately heads down this conveyor belt to the blast chiller. That stops the cooking process. Some things, though, are totally cooked through, like these omelets on this rotating table. The eggs come pre-cracked in a liquid mixture. A pump squirts the perfect amount into each pan. Chefs stationed around the table cook, flip, fold, and stack every omelet.
We're producing here 6,000-7,000 omelets per day minimum. So omelets is mostly for the economy kitchen.
Once all the elements are cooked, most of the way through, they head to this room.
So this is what we call casserole assembly for the economy meals and also business class and some first class meals.
This is where they pack all the food into the foil containers you might have seen in flight.
Normally from the time they take the meals
Shit.
from the fridge,
Whew.
35-45 minutes, they have to
Then I know
put the meal into the
which
tray.
way you gonna
Anthony
take
gives
that.
chefs photos to show them how each dish is supposed to look. Flight attendants get a similar picture to follow for plating.
Because we have around 6,500-7,000 cabin crew, and there's only one of me, I can't be every day at the training college, training cabin crew, so we do this for consistency.
One by one, workers pile on starches, sauces, meats, and vegetables. Here's that pasta we saw cooking earlier. They each get a foil topper and then are carted into a holding fridge.
That's where basically the packing team goes a little bit like a supermarket where you pick and mix.
Chefs assemble the food in a different room. Today they're making floating islands, a dessert with a meringue suspended in creme anglaise. All these dishes look great on the ground, but there's one big problem. Food can taste different in the air.
What?
On some planes, your taste buds are about 30% less sensitive to sweet and salty foods. That's because of the pressure, dryness, and engine sound. In the older 777s and A320s, the cabin is pressurized up to 8,000 feet, so it feels like you're eating lunch on Machu Picchu. And humidity on board can sit as low as 12%, less than some deserts. When you have a dry mouth and a worsened sense of smell, foods can be twice as bland. So historically, that meant airlines loaded on salt for you to even taste the food, sometimes leaving passengers feeling bloated. But in new planes, manufacturers are making conditions on board easier on your body.
This is really crazy. They go through all of that.
And 787 Singapore Airlines flies, cabins are pressurized up to 6,000 feet. So instead of Machu Picchu, it feels like you're eating dinner in Denver. And because new planes are made of more carbon fiber, it's possible to increase humidity to about 24%.
When you have more moisture in the cabin space, your sinuses and your body is not dehydrating as quickly, and your taste and your palate is not as influenced.
So flyers can taste a lot more these days, making it easier on chefs like Anthony.
There's no additional salt, pepper, no additional salts.
Anthony can use this room to simulate a pressurized cabin and test how food will taste in the sky. And to address that bloating issue, he uses ingredients like
Turmeric reduces swelling in your body, inflammation, so you're feeling a lot more comfortable. Ginger is also for sleep and rest and relaxation.
which leaves just one more hurdle, reheating the food. Flight planes only have small ovens to work with on board, so how do chefs make sure their food still tastes good? Well, cooking halfway and moving quickly helps. And they avoid dishes that don't travel well.
We try not to do things that are deep fried, for example. Because it doesn't stay crispy, and none of us really like to bite into soft French fries.
They also stay away from thin fish, like sea bass.
The fish, which is
What
thicker,
the fuck?
cod,
I didn't know I did that.
salmon, they stand up much better to our experience.
After all the meals are assembled, the food finally meets up with the carts you see on board.
So we have here the tray assembly area.
Elevators bring clean trays, cutleries, and dishes upstairs.
Oh, what up, though?
The silverware elevator?
Yeah, it's like it's a deluxe ride, for your cutlery.
Chefs work on an assembly line, picking and placing.
All the napkins, all the porcelain, the linenware, the nice forks, everything right through to the salt pepper shakers and the butter portions.
This is a dinner service.
That's really crazy, though.
And then they'll put the appetizer, so the appetizer is always preset on the supper service.
They put in all this effort.
They'll put the dressing on the side, and then it will get packed into the cards.
It's the same process for economy class, just the tableware, like the food, isn't quite as fancy.
That card is packed with all the meals inside. It has a label tag, says what flight number it is, what destination, what meal service it should be.
This helps cabin crew know what's inside the carts without having to open them.
If you open it up, that document there will correspond with what meal goes inside. So here we have porcelain, here we have the glassware, and then that will correspond then with the meal types incoming from the meal packing side.
Those carts take a ride on another elevator and will be loaded onto flights usually within an hour before takeoff. Every team along the process has to move extremely fast because all the food has to be cooked, assembled, and eaten in flight within 72 hours.
So we never want to exceed 72 hours in terms of food processing.
If the team goes over that time limit by just an hour, they exceed food safety requirements and can't serve those meals anymore.
This meal will be on a plane tonight. Okay? So this production probably occurred yesterday.
It all moves so fast because at the end of the day, they've got a flight to catch.
Every time a plane lands,
That's
each tire
crazy.
leaves around 1.5 pounds of rubber on the runway. Tires are stationary until touchdown, when sudden contact with the ground causes friction, quickly bringing them up to speeds of more than 150 miles per hour and producing temperatures around 500 degrees Fahrenheit.
Wow.
That temperature makes the tread rubber melt and bond to the
Skr
runway and lights that
skr
guide
skr.
pilots. The Airbus A380 is the largest passenger plane in the world, and it has 22 tires. That's over 30 pounds of rubber lost per landing, equivalent to the amount of rubber in 2 of your car's tires. So how does all of that rubber get removed, and what's so dangerous about it building up on runways?
There is two things you need to consider when we're talking rubber removal from the runway. There's the rubber removal from the actual tarmac itself, but the other process is to remove the rubber from the lights.
At London's Heathrow Airport, where Mohammed works, an average of 650 planes with 10 tires each touch down every single day. That's 10,000 pounds of rubber daily.
Yikes.
A buildup in rubber can make the surface of a runway smooth, decreasing the friction needed to land. This can impact braking and control and increase the risk of hydroplaning in wet conditions. And runway lights, used to guide takeoff, landing, and taxiing, especially at night and in low visibility conditions, are dimmed by the melted rubber bonding. Within the United States, the Federal Aviation Administration recommends that rubber deposition be checked weekly for any airport with at least 210 daily landings. The process for checking rubber buildup isn't as simple as checking for skid marks, and it requires the use of specialized tests and instruments.
So for the runway, we have something called a friction test. It's like a machine that has a wheel, and someone will drive down the runway, and that wheel will come down and it'll actually measure how much friction there is on the runway. The key to a runway is you want it to have a lot of friction. You don't want it to be slippery at all. So that measurement of how much friction that wheel feels on the surface of the runway will tell our teams when to go out there to remove the rubber. Now, to do that, we have specialized machinery, which is like a massive truck with a hoover on top of it. And so it's high pressure water, basically, but very hot. And it blasts the tarmac, and then it just sucks up everything that comes off it.
And then there's removal of rubber from the lights. Landing technology alone isn't enough to bring planes in safely.
Of course, they use ILS systems, they use the instrument landing system when coming into land, but they still need a visual reference. So from a safety perspective, the pilots physically won't be able to see those lights. And I once spoke to a pilot who was flying in from Scandinavia, and I remember I always go to the pilots and speak to them about this stuff afterwards, because I want to get their perspective. And I said to him, what's it like to fly a plane at an airport and land a plane at an airport which doesn't maintain its lights very well? He said, it's like trying to fly a plane into a black hole. So for the lights themselves, we do a test where we measure how much light output comes out of the lights. So we have this trailer that hooks off the back of the car, and the sensors on the back of this trailer will tell you exactly how much light is coming out of every single light. And then you get all that data and you can tell which lights have rubber on them. So lights are really important, they need to be bright. So to do that, we have another machine which uses dry soda, and it has somebody on the back with a lance, and they go from one light to another and they point this thing at it, and they shoot powder, this soda powder, at the actual lens of the light, and they get rid of all the rubber that is on those lights.
From when the last plane takes off at night to when the first plane takes off in the morning, there's a small window of time.
Our runways need to close, so we need to wait till the last plane departs, and then after the last plane departs, that's when our teams can come on. So if you want to clean every single light on the runway, you can't really do it all in one night because there's that many of them. So for the lights themselves, we remove it at least twice per week. This is something that people don't ever really think about, but there's a whole team of people whose responsibility it is to make sure that these runways are clear. And actually people benefit from this job all the time, because the only way that they're able to go on holiday and enjoy the world is by using these strips of tarmac called the runways.
Yeah, it's crazy.
This is Bach.
Alright, y'all. We about to end this. Holla at y'all later. Peace.